Today, I acknowledge that Strathcona County is located on Treaty 6 territory in the homeland of the Métis Nation of Alberta, Regions 2 and 4. Strathcona County honours the First Peoples of this land. We recognise that we stand upon land that carries the footsteps of Cree, Métis, and Blackfoot, among many other nations who have been here for thousands of years. Therefore, Strathcona County has an inherent responsibility to foster healthier relationships with First Peoples and further the calls to action as outlined by the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Welcome to Season 2 of the You Belong Here podcast, where we're focused on helping you connect with and learn more about support and resources in Strathcona County. I'm your host, Brad Oates, and today we are excited to dive into the topic of accessing local supports with our guest, Teri Stannard. Teri, how are you doing?
Fine, thanks, Brad.
I'm glad to hear it. First time on the podcast, please tell us a little bit about yourself and what your role is at Family Community Services.
Well, I'm the Solutions Navigator Supervisor, and we have a team of 11 in Solutions Navigation. And yeah, I love what I do, and we work very holistically with the other branches, which I'm excited to tell you about in this podcast.
Mm-hmm. So today's topic is about accessing local supports. And I guess my first question is, when is the right time to do that? How does somebody know now is when I should walk through that door?
That's a good question. My suggestion would be that right when you're thinking that things are getting on top of you, you're feeling maybe a bit depressed and your finances are getting a little bit out of control and things are starting to challenge yourself, maybe your family and your relationships, that's the time to call or walk into Family and Community Services, and we can start with an action plan to guide you through what you need to get where you want to be.
I assume there's no absolute too late, but what I'm taking from that is that the earlier the better sometimes, and that we shouldn't wait till we're in crisis to reach out for help. Is that correct?
That's very correct, yes. Definitely the earlier the better, and we can start working on a plan that works for you.
What does that look like, working on a plan?
So when you come into Family and Community Services and you see a Solutions Navigator, we ask you what you would like to support with on that day. So it might be transportation only. It might be a combination of financial services that you need. Say finances are getting a little strapped. It might also be some mental health supports are needed, and it might be a combination of all of them. So we would hear your story, and then working with you, work through what supports might be needed to help you change the path that maybe is causing you challenges, and set some goals for you. We always like to make these goals achievable on your terms, not ours. So we will have a lot of conversations and ask a lot of questions. And then at the end, you decide what you want to work on and when, and we will support you through that process.
So these navigators kind of know all the steps, all of the different resources, but it's entirely up to the participant to guide the process and decide on what success looks like.
Correct. We'll give you options that are out there and discuss them. And also we will walk alongside you in that journey and making your goals come to fruition. Some people require more support than others, and either is fine. So it might be we'll give you some numbers to call for, say, Alberta Supports or something. And it may also be that we phone with you to some of those supports.
Okay. So people aren't just walking out with a big old list of resources and 16 different numbers to try. You're kind of doing that all in the session with them.
Correct. Yeah. And you can come as many times as you want. So as we're working on this plan, it might not be something we can accomplish today. So you can come back and we can continue working on your goals when you're ready. It's very much when you're ready for change, we'll be there to support you.
That's really interesting that it can stretch over more than one session and more than one visit.
Yes.
One of my concerns, I think, if I was doing that would be, would I just have to tell my whole story again every single time?
No, you wouldn't. We do work as a team. As I said before, we have 11 navigators. So we'd write down your story. So when you came in the next time, the navigator that you would see would be able to look and see what your story is from the last time you were in and bring up your goal plan and work from there.
That sounds amazing. I want to hear so much about some of the services you might refer to, some of the supports they might access. Mm-hmm. But first, I'm curious about what that looks like from, the moment you walk through that door for the first time at FCS to sitting down in the Solutions Navigation Office. What does that process look like? Are there costs involved? Walk me through that.
Solutions Navigation is a free service. So when you walk in the door, you can walk in or you can call in. We also have a call line, and our hours are 8:30 to 4:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and from 8:30 till 8 p.m. on Tuesday, Thursdays. And those are the times that both our walk-in services and our call line are open. If you're walking into Family and Community Services, you walk up to the reception desk and you're given what's called a pink sheet. And we have a number of topics on the pink sheet that you can fill out of things that you would like support with. Some of them are related to counseling, which you might want to access counseling supports. And some of them are related to things like transportation, subsidies, housing, things like that. So as soon as you come in, you're greeted. We have coffee, tea, water, and lovely, very friendly receptionists. So you fill out that form and they will give it to a navigator, and then we start you on your journey.
And then you go, you sit down, you talk to the navigator, and you get it all sorted. You said you can also do that over the phone. How do you access that?
So our call line is 780-464-4044. And so a navigator will answer that call. And same as with walk-in, we'll go through what's challenging you today and what things you want to work on.
What are some of the most common goals that you see in Solutions Navigation?
I think certainly in this economy and through this year, a real priority has been financial security for people. We've seen a lot of food insecurity. We do have a food pantry that we work with the food bank, our local food bank, to fill, that people can come and grab extra items of food. Things are skyrocketing price-wise. Groceries are very expensive. Rent's very expensive. Anything that you need to buy for your family is very expensive. So people are really having to choose sometimes between what is affordable and what's not. And that's going back to what the first question you asked me, is coming in sooner rather than later. Mm-hmm. So the sooner you come in, we do have programs that we can access. We can talk with you through your budget, what sort of things are getting behind in payments, for instance, and work with you and support you through that. So there's lots we can do.
Okay, that does make sense. So instead of waiting until, you're about to lose a house or you're completely starving, you can come in a little bit earlier and kind of get those supports in advance and avoid reaching that point.
For sure, yeah.
Amazing. You also mentioned Solutions Navigation can refer both to internal and external resources. What are some of those internal ones?
So we do have counseling on site too, and that as well as navigation can be done over the phone or it can be done in person. Our counseling hours are the same as our navigation hours, except Tuesday, Thursdays, we start at noon till 8. And that service is a pay what you can afford service. So you can not pay if you can't afford it, or anywhere up to $150.
If somebody comes in and accesses that and they can't pay, is that an obstacle to them accessing it again in the future?
No, not at all. Yeah. It's pay what you can afford, and if you can't afford it, that's perfectly fine.
Oh, okay. And that's also available over the phone, you mentioned?
Yes.
Same phone number?
Yes.
Excellent. What other kind of internal services are there at Family and Community Services?
We do have a home help program, which is for seniors and it is a subsidized program, so you have to qualify for it. And it is light housekeeping in your home for seniors who are unable or don't have any internal help to help them with that light housekeeping piece. We also have a child and family wellness program, which is for parents and children up to the age of 18. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. A lot of different supports. I guess that fits. You mentioned a variety of goals at the start, so I guess it only makes sense that there be a variety of supports as well.
Yeah.
If somebody needs something that's not covered within family community services, what do those external referrals look like?
Well, we have a variety of pathways. We do have some co-located partners who are housed within family and community services, such as a safe place, women's shelter. We do have Big Brothers, Big Sisters co-located with us. We have CALLS, the Adult Literacy Program, located with us, and Parents Empowering Parents, which is an addictions program. And we also have a mediation program, which the reason why we chose co-location is we can do what we call warm handoffs. So if we're in a session with you, we recognize that it's really hard to go from place to place. So we can actually, if one of those co-located partners is a service that you need, we can pull them into the session with you, so you don't have to go to a different building or start telling your story again over and over. We can just pull them into a session with us. So it works really well. And then we also have relationships with Alberta Works, our local PCN, mental health, RCMP, a variety, all of our local. We have an interagency program, which all of our not-for-profits attend. We have access 24/7 for mental health concerns, and these are more severe mental health concerns. So we often will do a call together with someone who wants to access those services. We also have We Seniors in our community.
Oh, tell me about that.
Couple of years now. So it's a not-for-profit for seniors. They provide a lot of classes and information around seniors. They also have food, pre-prepared food that you can buy, freezer food. It's a great organization to start with as a senior if you're looking to connect with other seniors.
Wow. You used the word holistic earlier, and that sure is what I'm hearing. You really cover things every age and stage of life, every kind of need.
We do, yeah. I think really FCS is a good place to start. So if you are feeling that things are getting on top of you and or going sideways, it's a really good place to start because we can really hear you. And a lot of people find relief in just coming and telling their story because a lot of when challenges happen to people, they tend to self-isolate. So they're not talking to their friends and they're not talking to their family for a variety of reasons. And to be able to come in to FCS or to give us a call and talk about those things that are really challenging you is often a relief to people being heard. So
it's often said that one of the biggest barriers to getting help is just knowing how and when to ask for it. Mm-hmm. What I'm hearing here is really encouraging because it sounds like such a warm and welcoming environment that despite that can be hard sometimes, recognizing that we need help. When you walk through these doors, it sounds like everybody is just there to help, look out, make you comfortable. You mentioned that there's tea and stuff like that. What an environment. Wow.
It is pretty great, I have to say. I think everybody in their life has challenges, and I think, unfortunately, there's some stigma to that. But it's something everybody goes through at least once in their lives. And we have resilience that we can use to get through those situations. And talking to a navigator, we try and bring out those resiliency skills that you have. And really, you're making the decisions and you're guiding, and we're just walking alongside of you and providing the supports that you don't know about or find it hard to access. It is very hard to ask for help, and so we try to make it accessible. We like your experience to be very positive. We're very strength-based. We're non-judgmental, and we try and make it as easy to access our services as possible by having both walk-in and the call line. As well, if you are isolated or have trouble getting around, we will also go out to you. So we do some outreach too.
How does somebody access that?
So I think if you just called our call line and talked to the navigator and could arrange for someone to come out to you.
Okay.
We find a lot of seniors as well we go out to help them access supports.
Oh, fantastic. So if they're stuck in their house, they're not easily able to get around, they can just call up and have somebody come over for a visit.
Correct, yeah.
Wow. You also mentioned that counseling is available. What kind of needs are covered in those sessions?
A variety, anything really.
People feeling down, not sure where to go in life.
Lots of anxiety and depression, and it's cyclical. It's the same as coming in for navigation. It's the same issues. When you're financially strapped, you're more likely to self-isolate and feel depression and anxiety, of course, which leads to a vicious circle. Your relationships falter then, and then it's back around to how do I, my housing might slip, my job might be in jeopardy, and it's just a circle. So navigation and counseling work hand in hand as part of that cycle to sort of break it, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, that's the word I was actually thinking of. It's people joke about it and we realize it, but trouble comes in bunches, right? It's never, one bad thing happened, but everything else is great.
Yeah.
It tends to be my finances are hurting and now my relationship is suffering and my mental health is plummeting. And what we know about cycles is they usually don't change unless something changes within them or outside. So it sounds like just walking through that door at FCS can sometimes be the first step of breaking that entire cycle.
Correct. And that's essentially it. It's not going to change until you make the change. And so that's why we say come in when you're ready for change, and that's why we don't have appointments where you'd have to wait months. If you're ready for change today, come in or call in, and we'll start working with you.
Unbelievable. Wow. I was actually going to wrap up by asking you if you had any advice to give to somebody who's not sure if they need to access supports or not, but I think you might have just stated it. Come on in or give a call.
Yeah. I think a lot of people too also say, I'm not that bad as everyone else, so I should wait and let other people who are not as bad off as me to or worse off than me to access services. It's for everyone. It's absolutely for everyone. Even just telling your story and getting that weight off your chest, there's almost always something we can do to lighten that load.
So wherever you're at in that cycle that we talked about, it's the right time.
For sure.
And I think it's important to remind people as well, they're not taking resources away from other people. It's not a finite pie, right?
No, that's correct.
Amazing. Anything else you want to share today?
No, I think, we're happy to hear from you. The team loves their jobs, and we're happy for you to come in and support you through your journey. And I think it's very it's a really good feeling when someone walks in and you can see their shoulders are down and their head's down and it's the weight of the world on them. And then when they walk out of the session, it's just like a different person. So
there's hope there again.
Yeah, there's hope there. Yeah.
Wow. Would you remind me before we wrap up today, just where is Family Community Services? How do we walk through that door? And what is the number if we want to give a phone call?
The number is 780-464-4044. And our offices are on the second floor of the community center, so just above Vicky's restaurant.
Amazing. Well, Teri, I sure want to thank you for coming on the podcast today. I think it's been some really helpful information for our listeners.
Sure.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course, the conversation doesn't have to stop here. Visit us at strathcona.ca/you belong here to find links and resources to many of the resources that we've talked today, or to sign up for our monthly e-newsletter to get alerts about new podcast episodes, local resources, workshops, and events in your inbox.